The airlines, when they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820. Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you. We promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean, right now to learn more. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
I mean, Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
I think it's
Why
much
have
easier.
thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
All right, Johnson County, we're back for the Monday edition, October 16, 2023. The Joco Voice. Today's weather was sunny and beautiful with a low of 45 and a high of 68. I'm your host, Mike Wilshire. With me today, I've got my special guest, Brittney Sullivan, president of the Johnson County Sheriff's Association.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I am fabulous, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got to go over the little snafu at the beginning. Sorry, everyone. We did not know that the mic was unmuted when we came in and started broadcasting. I will be more careful the next time. I apologize. Brittney, let's start off with your Cleburne Yellow Jackets. Rough week.
Well, I don't really want to go into that. I love my Cleburne Yellow Jackets.
I know, right?
Go Jackets.
Right. Go Jackets. I'm sorry.
My daughter's boyfriend's on the team. So go Jackets.
How was that this week? There was a loss last week, 35-10. Was it very silent, very quiet in the house?
I'm not talking about it.
Burleson Elks lost to Everman 47-6, so they had a real depressing week also. The Centennial Spartans died on the field against Aledo. The Bearcats destroyed the Spartans 42-0. Next week, Brewer will take on Centennial in an away game. Rio Vista beat Crossroads 32-22. Alvarado got clobbered by China Springs 64-28. My God, that sounds like a basketball score.
My gosh.
Right. Grandview destroyed Inspired Vision 63-0. Fairly certain the only reason this score was not higher is because the Zebras were exhausted for all the running. If Grandview wasn't returning punts for touchdowns, they were recovering fumbles. And they threw 174 yards in passing with 84 yards in rushing. IVA moved the ball a grand total of 18 yards. That's with a -10 in rushing. So they moved it 28 in passing, -10 in rushing. Could you imagine that game?
No.
That's just got to be the quietest ride home ever for IVA. I remember games that we lost whenever I was in high school. I thought it was the end of the world.
That's a lot of tears. I know that's a lot of tears.
Godley lost 22-36, and Joshua lost 13-42.
That's sad. That's my alma mater.
Joshua is?
Joshua High School is my alma mater.
What, may I ask what year?
2005.
Oh, wow. I am so way older than you. I graduated in 1992. I had already gone through the Army, became a cop, hated being a cop, went back into the Navy, and you graduated 5 years later. I am super old.
I am a Joshua Al from 2005.
Right. What are you, 23? God Lord.
I mean, I wish I was 23.
Like I'm trying to do the math in my head.
36.
Wow.
But it's all the same, I guess.
Right. But to your kids, you're old, right?
Old.
Oh, my kids are like,
oh, man.
Dad, back when you were young and it was black and white television. I'm like, I had color. We had color.
They bring up so many different things, and I'm like, y'all have no idea.
Oh,
They're like, you didn't have texting? I'm like, we did, but it was T9, and you had to press every button like 12 times to get the right. Yes.
Go to the MK.
Like y'all would have never survived.
Oh, no. It was too much for them. The phone with the cord that went through the whole house.
The rotary phone, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they would have never survived.
They would not have made it.
What's a cordless phone? Nobody has a cordless phone anymore.
5 channels.
Yeah.
5 channels on television. If the president was on, you were screwed.
Yeah.
He was on every channel.
I was like, y'all, the Roku now. My kids, like every Roku in the house. Yeah. Like every room in the house has a Roku. And I'm like, we didn't have Roku.
And my day job, you got a day job, I got a day job.
Mm-hmm.
My day job is I'm a producer at UT Southwestern. So where the doctors learn how to be doctors,
mm-hmm.
I'm in the classroom with them, setting up the doctor, the professor, with a microphone, the camera, everything that you would do for like the Phil Donahue show or Oprah back in the day.
Wow.
And one of the kids was like, well, what made you think you wanted to do this? I was like, I don't know. Maybe I watched Oprah and they were like, who was Oprah? What did you just say? Like, I'm going to kill you right here, right now. I don't care if you're going to be a doctor. We're going to put a little plastic bag over your head and play, Is There a God?
Yeah. For teenagers now, it's like, that would be like, what's FGTV?
Right. No idea.
I'm like, what's YouTube?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm going to get even with you. What's YouTube? What's a reel? What's a Vine? I don't know what those things are.
TikTok.
Okay. So Johnson County, how I found you today.
Uh-huh.
Before I started stalking you because I drove down the deep hole. I was like, I recognize her from somewhere.
Love it.
But you are the Johnson County Sheriff's Association president.
I am.
You will be hosting the first trunk or treat at Cleburne Elks Lodge.
Yes. We will be hosting the first trunk or treat out at Cleburne Elks Lodge on Sunday from 4 to 6.
October 22nd.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be real fun.
I think so.
It's going to be lots of fun. We're having all of our deputies, corrections officers, all the civilian employees, such as the admin people,
mm-hmm.
and our dispatchers as well come out. They're going to decorate their trunks. We're looking to get a bounce house. So if you know anybody that's willing to donate a bounce house, we could use that.
If you know anyone, listeners, someone who's willing to donate a bounce house, because I don't know anyone that has a bounce house. I'm sorry.
We're also taking donations of candy.
Okay.
But we're looking to bring the community together, get them out, get them, entertained with
We've got to get people out.
deputies and the jailers.
Right. We've
Ooh,
got
they're
to get
scary
people out
people.
and see that those guys are actually pretty normal.
Yes. Yes.
I've been pulled over by Johnson County. Never had a problem.
That's
Never.
good.
And I mean, but first of all, I was totally confused because I was like, I don't think I did anything. But at the time, I had a car that looked real common,
Mm-hmm.
and they were looking for that type of car.
Sounds about right.
And he walked up to that window. He's like, "You're not him." And then I was like, "Wait a minute, don't you want to talk?" Nope, I'm looking for someone. And then
Sounds about right.
I was like, "That's probably."
Sounds.
I don't know what they were looking for, but it was not a 6'1" white guy that was about 300 pounds in the front seat. They were looking for someone else, right?
Yes.
This is going to be from 4 to 6.
Yes.
And it says there will be a night of treats and trickery.
Yes.
I don't know what y'all have planned, but I'm gonna let y'all know that if y'all scare me and you hear someone scream like a girl, you know it's me.
I'm not about scary. I'm definitely not the one to do the scary, but it's our first one.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing when I became president of the Johnson County Association was to bring the community together.
Right.
There's a lot of people in Johnson County that, for lack of a better term, don't like or distrust Johnson County Sheriff's Office. And
okay.
I want to bring the community together into understanding them and knowing them and, knowing
Sure.
that we're there for them.
And this is, as she's bringing it up, this is the JoCo voice. So anyone who wants to chime in, talk about it, bring up a reason, whatever, we're not going to stop you. But whenever I took on this show, I always said, I'm going to tell the truth.
Yes.
And the negativity that I see off of what you'll put a Facebook post out, and I don't know who the individual is that is in monitoring your page,
mm-hmm.
but it seems like they could say, "Oh, the sky is blue today," and somebody will jump in with, "Well, that one time in 2008."
Oh yeah, we get a bunch of that. I put a post out last week. I had received a sheriff's citation. So I work for Johnson County Sheriff's Office as a background and recruitment administrative clerk. I've got what's called a sheriff's citation. It's a good
mm-hmm.
thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah, right.
It's an
There's
award.
Good ones.
I got an award,
mm-hmm.
and I put it out there that I had received this award, and somebody jumped on there. Well, why would it be so great working for the sheriff's office? Y'all are awful. And just went in this whole big tangent, and I just wasn't going to entertain it. But it turned into a 200 comment thing on my Facebook. And I'm like, oh.
You're trending. You're 200 comments. You can give me all the negative
go
comments.
Find something else to do.
Right. Bring it to the JoCo voice, people. Give us all your negative comments here so that I can address them, because I don't have a badge and I won't get fired for what I say.
I'm a bubbly person. Like, I'm not looking to get into a fight with somebody who has an opinion about something.
Because you did a good job at hiring people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
wow.
Come on now.
Wow.
By the way, if you're looking for a job, Johnson
Yes.
County Sheriff's Office is hiring jailers as well as deputies and dispatchers. So I will.
You better be able to type 290 words a minute if you're going to be a police dispatcher.
I don't know if it's that many, but I mean,
I bet you they can type.
They can. I can type.
Really?
Yeah, I type a lot of words a minute, but there's no way I could be a dispatcher. I have a very, very high opinion of dispatchers. They do an amazing job.
A buddy of mine's a sergeant, and he says, I don't always piss off my dispatcher, but when I do, I get to run every single call that night.
Yeah.
It's like,
I could see that.
Yes,
I could see that.
happening.
Yeah.
And then I've seen some of the dispatchers I know put out there, don't make me use my dispatcher voice with you.
I love that.
I'm just imagining these dispatchers coming home, and for the first 20, 30 minutes that their husband comes through the door, or when she comes through the door, he comes through the door, the significant other has to listen to the dispatcher voice and finally go, I am not one of your officers on the street. Because when you date a teacher, she comes home with the teacher voice. You're like, I am not one of your students.
Yeah.
Stop right now.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they all go through. Because I know that whenever I on another show, I was doing an interview with one of the dispatchers, and I'm not going to say what county or city or whatever, but they got a call, into dispatch. They were upset during COVID that the person at Dairy Queen did not have a mask on when they called the dispatch. And they said, we want you to come arrest this person. And then when the dispatcher said, I can't do that, I recommend you just call Dairy Queen corporate. The person said, okay, I'll wait until you patch me through. and I just thought to myself, what power do you think this dispatcher has? Like, they've just like one of those movies where that's the guy that's controlling the lights, and everything while they're robbing the bank. I can only imagine what power they thought they had when it was over and done with. Okay, so while we're going to go and talk about everything Joco Sheriff's right now, a special shout out to Deputy Ryan Gahib, responding to a call where a teenager overdosed on drugs. Deputy Gahib administered Narcan and began chest compressions, ultimately bringing this sweet little blessing from God back to life. We here at the Joco Voice salute Deputy Gahib and applaud him for he's receiving the life-saving award. True heroes, just from me, true heroes are people that save people that never knew they were in danger to begin with. And I can only imagine just showing up to that call and you're like, that is a child. That's a teenager spread, because we're old. Whenever I look and I see 17, 18-year-old kid standing there, I see a baby. I mean, when I go into a bar and I'm like, did you ID that person over there? They look very young. They're like, that person's 27 years old. Really? Oh, he's aging very well. He's still, when he's 38, he'll look 20.
I have a very, my husband's a deputy. So I have a very high respect for deputies and peace officers for what they do. So I back the blue heavily.
So when he comes home, is he or is he just quiet?
Well, so my husband's not actually on the street. He's a sergeant over transport for the jail. So he transports inmates to and from court and doctor's appointments and things of that nature. So I don't hear a lot of He is, as I said, he's a quiet guy. But
that might be the cool job though, driving the paddy wagon. Is that what it's called? Does he call it the paddy wagon? I don't know. That's what he used to call it.
Vans and buses and
it's a good arrest when they need the bus.
The bus.
They gotta bring the bus. We're gonna need the bus to hold all these criminals we got. Like a bunch of them,
We're
right?
arresting them all from court. We need you to bring the bus.
The bus. All right. So let's talk about people wanting a job.
Okay.
All right. So what do you need on your background?
So first of all, you can't be a criminal. You can't have a felony ever. You can't have and it's a certain type of misdemeanor. And if you do have it and it's been expunged, then it's a 10-year wait.
To tell you how long ago it was whenever I was a policeman, the worst thing ever was hot checks. In 1996, if you had a couple of hot checks that you wrote for whatever reason, that would flag you. I don't think anyone even owns a checkbook anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know, but
we've been asking for a lot of donations for Shop with a Cop lately, and I'm like, if you have a check.
Okay, so
we've gotten several checks.
Oh, I got them somewhere in my house.
And I tease. So my boss is Deputy Link. He also received a 20-year pin this last week. So I tease him a lot about his age. And I tease him. I'm like, you have a checkbook, don't you?
Oh.
And he's like, no, it's not like that. I'm like, yeah, you have a checkbook.
Somewhere. He's balancing it right now as we're speaking. Right.
You have something.
That's awesome. That's all. That just goes to show how.
But
you can't have a felony.
Can't have felonies.
What
you
kind of misdemeanors? Crime of moral turpitude. I think there's different things.
Yeah, there's different things. I'm not a background investigator, so I can't go into it. But you can definitely call up there, and I'll get you with Deputy Link or Deputy Hay, Deputy Anderson or Deputy Torres, and they can all explain it to you. But you have to be a resident of the state of Texas. You have to have a valid Texas driver's license or a Texas ID. You have to have a high school diploma or GED. You have to be a resident of the United States. So you have to have a birth certificate or have
minimum age and age cutoff.
So minimum age for a jailer is 18. Minimum age for a deputy obviously is 21 because you can't become a peace officer until that age.
It's cutoff age.
I don't think there is one.
I am 49 years old. I'm on my way.
Come on.
Get the application ready.
I mean, I have it on my phone. I can email it to you.
Shoot, no. Y'all would want me to jump. Y'all would want me to chase a criminal and I'd hit him with the car. I'd be like, nope, not going to do it. Not running after him.
And then if you've ever been in the military, we would need a copy of your DD-214.
With an honorable discharge, folks.
With an honorable discharge.
There's a couple of others. There's like a general, but that means it's medical. And that's probably going to cause a problem.
If you have a general, it just depends on what the general is for.
Usually medical asthma. A lot of guys had.
We've seen some things.
I'm sure you have. I mean,
but yeah, for the most part, general is a medical, something medical.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay. So we survived Jihad Day, right?
Yeah.
Were y'all on alert?
Still here.
Were you while you were doing your recruiting having to wear like a riot helmet and be ready?
No, I was just sitting at my desk doing my normal everyday thing.
Right. I was there at the university and they said, there was like a call for jihad. And I'm like, really? Well, we're in a basement, so we're safe. Like there's you, me, and him. There's 3 guys in the basement. We'll all be safe, right?
Nah, no, we're good. We're just, sitting in.
I didn't see anything happen on the news.
I didn't see anything.
Not anything
either.
local to here.
My husband's he keeps himself in the know on that. So when something does come up, he'll let me know.
He's out there. He's law. He's sniffing around. All of them are, right?
Yeah.
You got a whole family of cops. We were talking about that. I feel so bad for the boyfriend-in-law, your daughter's boyfriend. I don't know what you call him. What do we call him?
I'm going to call him that from now on.
My ex-wife has a husband. I call him my husband-in-law.
I mean,
I don't know what to call him. He's right.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for the boyfriend-in-law. He's got, my husband and my dad's a peace officer. My brother-in-law is a peace officer. My brother is a peace officer.
So he's sitting with the SWAT team when he's at Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Yeah, pretty close.
There's like 19 cops, and he's just sitting there thinking, what do I have on me that looks like a white powdery substance?
He's just looking around thinking, what did I get myself into?
Absolutely. I'm trying to look. Oh, way to go, Brittney. Robert Sims sending you a shout out.
That's Deputy Sims. He's amazing. He has really good people, and he has been really helpful with trying to get me about this. And getting people to donate for Shop with a Cop. So thank you, Sims.
Maybe I could go lay down in a bounce house store or something.
Maybe.
And start moaning and groaning. And then while y'all are wheeling me out, they can wheel me out like Hannibal.
Well, I think the problem we're having is it's Halloween season. So everybody's doing trunk or treats. So probably everything is.
Maybe towards the end, if you have not used the bounce house, if you haven't rented it out that weekend, the last minute, we'll take it at the last minute.
Yeah.
We'll take all your bounce houses.
I only need it for 2 hours.
That's right, from 4 to 6.
I just need it for 2 hours.
You can have it all night long after that. Somebody can have it all night long.
You can have it back. I just want it for 2 hours.
Right. Just need it for that 2 hours. That's funny. So, all right. We're 7 minutes until the next commercial break. I want to make sure that we get plugged everything else that you have that you want to put out. We talked about the deputies. We talked about, are y'all hiring for communications also?
Yes, for our dispatchers, we are hiring for dispatchers. I don't handle dispatcher hiring, but I know the right people to get you to.
What about just a regular civilian employee? Some guys.
So you can go to Johnson County. Media. Yeah, you can go to johnsoncountytx.org.
Right.
Go to how do I apply for Johnson County opportunities, and there's a whole list of opportunities to work for the county.
Nice.
So
nice. You like it?
I love it,
really?
Actually. Yes. So I'm a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
I've done cosmetology. I've done just about everything, but I love working for the county. Right. I used to tell my husband, there's no way I'm ever going to work for the jail. That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am 2 years in, and I love it. I love the people I work with. I love the people I work for.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have asked for a better job.
I know that I've been in many jails, but not for being arrested. I've just, in my course of time, life, work, I've been in many jails. I can tell you the areas where the civilians work and the deputies and the officers is very, very nice and cool with AC.
Yes.
The places I've been where the inmates are is like air cooled and it's just running through with whatever. I don't know if it's they don't have AC or what it is. But when it's cold, it's cold. When it's hot, it's hot. I will never go to jail if I can avoid it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Chief Blankenship and Captain Gordy have done a very good job of taking care of the jail, and they've worked very hard on making sure that it's AC'd and everything.
I've never heard anything. I've never heard anything bad, and I know a lot of people on both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually heard of several people who got some type of program where they could go to work and then had to go to jail at night or on the weekends. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like jail to me. You still got to go to work. Like, I go to work to get away from things all the time. You know, I can understand.
Yeah,
that's like jail light, right? That's the light beer of jail.
I don't know.
I don't know how that works. I mean,
I've never been to jail, so I couldn't tell. Like,
right.
I'm there every day, but I've never actually.
Like, I go to jail every day. I just never go to jail.
I just never go to jail.
I'm on that part of the Monopoly board that says just visiting.
Yeah.
Right on the outside.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, you go around the go straight to jail part.
Right. I go around and just
collect 200. That's what I'm doing.
Right. I just don't ever see me. I don't ever see myself. I did apply to work for that bail bonds company that's right outside the jail.
Really?
I did. I thought maybe, I'll go work for them and underwrite bonds, work at something like that. It's closer to the house and things like that. I wouldn't have to do the big commute. They were like, no, we don't want you.
Oh, man.
I was like, why? You would intimidate all the people that we want them to get bond. You're too big. I'm like, what? I'm too tall or I'm too fat? All of it. You just... Like they didn't even care they were discriminating. We don't care we're discriminating. A lawyer owns us. We don't care. You won't be able to do it. I'm like, they were like, we're done. Nope, you're not going to do it. I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. All right. So you've got the trunk or treat.
Mm-hmm. I really want to touch on Shop with a Cop.
Yes, that was the other one. Okay, go.
So yes, we are excited about trunk or treat. It's the first year we're going to do it. We're very excited about it. But every year, we hold Shop with a Cop. We need donations, cash donations. If you know of anybody that is willing to donate to Shop with a Cop, this is to help families and children who are less fortunate during the holiday season. I have a nomination form that they can fill out if they know families that would be in need. I know that we as a board have talked about sending nomination forms to all the schools to get them to nominate families because they're going to know them better than we are. But we do need cash donations and money to have a bigger fund to fund and make sure that these children who can't get Christmas this year are taken care of.
I guess my question is, how and where do I donate? If I'm a person that wants to donate, where do I go to donate?
So if you go to our Facebook page, there's we have a PayPal link. You can donate on there, or you can contact me on my personal Facebook, Brittney Sullivan, or go to the Johnson County Sheriff's Association page and send us a message. I'll come meet up with you and you can give us a donation that way.
Okay.
I would love to meet up with you just to say thanks and take a picture with you and give you a shout out on our Facebook page. We want to make sure that you're recognized for helping out the Sheriff's Association. Because we definitely couldn't do it without the community.
And a police officer takes someone to go shopping in the patrol car, or how does this work?
Yeah,
what do you do?
Pre-COVID, before COVID hit, they used to go and pick up the children, take them with them, take them shopping, and then wrap everything and then take everything to their house.
Okay.
Now, since all the COVID and everything, the way that we've been doing it in the past couple of years is that the deputies will get a list of all the things that the kids are wanting or needing, and they'll go to Walmart and they'll shop for these things that these kids want. Then they'll wrap them, and then a few days later, they'll take them and deliver them to their house. So the kids don't really know what they're getting.
Okay.
Where they did before, now they don't. And it is a surprise, and it is exciting. And it does show that Johnson County Sheriff's Office and the community, because the donations are coming not just from the Sheriff's Office, they're coming from the community, do care about the children.
Right. I know when I was in the Navy, we did a similar program. They did a similar program, and I volunteered once to be one of the ones that went to the house and gave the gifts. I thought it'd be very rewarding. I'm a big, strong, seasoned, trained combat veteran. Kids suffering is what makes me cry. I will lose it. I think I spent about 3 days in a depression after that. And I probably in that depression alone probably got the kids more jeans and shirts and things that I think the family didn't know what to do with the amount of stuff because we just piled it on even more then. So I understand it is families in need. This is families that can't do for themselves.
Yes.
And if you know anyone, you can nominate somebody through the Johnson County.
Yes, through me.
Through you.
Yes.
There's Facebook or through.
There's links. If you go to the Johnson County Sheriff's Association page or the Johnson County Sheriff's Office page, there's links and information on how you can make those nominations or how you can donate to Shop with a Cop.
Which, folks, that means that is thumb stuff away on your phone. You could just go and click and be done.
Yes.
Brittney, thank you for coming out with us.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break right now. I'm going to have you back on the show again soon, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
All right, Johnson County, welcome back. Welcome back to The Voice. This is your host, Mike Wilshire. I got to read my commercial off here. I always forget, and I don't want to mess anything else up today. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoco.com is the place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store, check out our lineup, and more at JocoCommunityRadio.com. This episode and more brought to you by the Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844-TEX.HAIL. 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-839-4245. Be sure to dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com. All right. I'm your host, Mike Wilshire. Welcome back. We just had Brittney Sullivan in the station, and one of the things that she posed to us was to be able to donate. Well, fortunately, Tiffany's listening on the radio and made sure that we knew that we could make Johnson County Radio a drop-off point for any donations that they would do for the shop out of the trunk. I'm sorry, I totally forgot, my mind blanked. And also, you can go on to our comments here and you can see the Johnson County Sheriff's Department's little, whatever you call it, the URL, right? All right. So now that I have got the best side of Johnson County out of the way, and I've talked about the good side, we're going to go to the underbelly. As always, there's that spot where things go bump in the night, and we're going to talk about it. I know, God, I'm doing the owns because I'm nervous about it. But hey, all right, Johnson County, here's my disclaimer. All these criminals are innocent until proven guilty. So please don't think I'm picking on anyone. These are public facts. You can Google and search, but I have done all that work for you. And I can now report on the events. Like everything, whenever I don't know if any of you guys do this, but I go down a deep, dark hole whenever I start looking at something. Man, I will read and I recognize a name. And I'm like, I'm going to go through this a little bit more. So, in going to Johnson County, looking on the website, reading the blotters or whatever y'all call it, the shift report, Christopher Heddick and Nicole Perrin were arrested in Burleson on burglary of habitation on Tuesday, the 10th. This Bonnie and Clyde duo were not only wise enough to break into this house, but Chris had on his person enough drugs to catch not one, but multiple charges. Chris has 3 charges, 1 for the burglary and 2 for possession. Now we jump over to Nicole. Not only did she catch the burglary charge, she got a possession charge too. Then that's where the bell starts ringing. I mean, just imagine, every time you get a text and it dings and it dings and it dings. This one is just one that kept on dinging. Judge for yourself, people, but our little Nicole, who is 5'4" and 125 pounds soaking wet, caught a prohibited substance in a correctional facility charge. Someone keistered, right? Look it up. I'm not going to explain it to you, but I want to let every one of you criminals know, do yourself a favor. They search you. They really, really search you. I don't know how to explain that more to you. Then it's better that you identified what you had on you than before they find it, because it's more enhanced once you get to the facility and they start searching you and find where you put this. In total, Nicole caught 10 charges and her bond is in the $67,000 range. I just imagine this car going down the road that Nicole was driving, and poor Nikki. This is one of those, it's like you're hoping they don't hit you because you could tell it's a fictitious tag. She's probably fudged the registration some way, done some kind of, another fraud on top of it. But by the time it was done, there were so many charges. She had 10 charges total, $67,000 bond. And when I looked at Chris's bond, it's $100,000. That's $50,000 for the burglary of the habitation and $25,000 for each drug possession charge. And I'm fairly certain from what I read, one of those drug possessions was fentanyl. Fentanyl is the one that kills everybody. I don't even know what it's used for. You just look at it and you can die, is the way you hear about it on the news all the time. And he has priors. You can check those out with a name search that comes back to gun running and possession of stolen guns in a hotel in Azle. The best part of this story from back in 2014, whenever I did the deep dive on his name, and I went back to Azle and looked at the newspaper and Parker County and all those things, is best part of it is the witness described the vehicle that they were in that was taking off with the guns. And this just goes to show you the genius of these criminals. They're just sitting there talking with the cops. Yeah, it was a such and such colored SUV. It had this, it had that. Any other thing, ma'am, sir, that you could think of to tell us that it possibly had that made it stand out? No. Oh, wait. There was a go-kart strapped to the top of the truck. Oh. So they put out the APB, a little bolo. You can imagine as police officers just driving down the road and then slams on his brakes and sees in this hotel parking lot a vehicle with a go-kart strapped to the top of it. Solving crime everywhere I go. Bad boys, what you gonna do? I love that story. I think that is amazing. I think it's wonderful that I live in a town, in a county, in a world where I don't have to write comedy. I can just read about it and live it. That's the place we have. The Azel News has an amazing photo of Chris, and you can, or Jacob, or whatever his name is. I don't know. Some of the things that he did, he went by Chris, or some says he goes by Jacob. Has amazing photos of him, and you can look and see like the photos of him now versus the photos of him then. And that's a lot of jail time for burglary of habitation the first time, long enough that $50,000 is a bond, and I think hers was half that for that particular charge. All right, moving on. Now I told you now Brittney already plugged it, and I'm going to do it one more time again, but I don't think we talked about the salary. Don't forget, if you find these stories interesting, Johnson County is hiring $24.25 per hour for starting corrections officers at the full-time position with Joko's shift report. Let's go over this. All right, we're just going to go over October 14th because I couldn't go over all of them from over the whole weekend. And I tried to really find the comical ones, and there really just wasn't anything in there worth laughing at. But we did have a disturbance, and deputies responded to a 17-year-old acting out and threatening to harm himself and property. The deputy transported the male to the hospital. I was in Walmart the other day, and every cart that had a kid in it was just this loud, either crying, yelling, acting out, and they were like a very, very young age. And I just remember the carts being very quiet whenever we were in the store, whenever I was young. And then even my little brother, who was always wanting to get out of the cart, I guess he learned his lesson at a certain point not to do it. Folks, you got to start when they're young. You got to start when they're young, because by the time they're 17, you got a deputy transporting the male to the hospital. All right. Crash, 5800 Park Road, 21. Sergeant responded to a crash in the Cleveland State Park. Park ranger advised another vehicle hit her in her parked vehicle. Sergeant responded and took the report. All right. We got a disturbance. Received a call from a female saying her stepdad was threatening to assault her. What the heck did that's just so vague. Couldn't we spice it up just a little bit? The stepdad was wearing a wife beater and standing out on the street, drinking a Schlitz malt liquor or something. Got to really give it some oomph, right? EMS assists assault. Caller states a female fell and needed medical. When EMS arrived, female states that she was assaulted. This call was still active at the shift change. All right. Now, I got to do this. I can't help myself. I wouldn't be me if I didn't go through it. But for those of you who do not know, Burleson has a 10 most wanted list. And let me tell you something. That is I'm trying to think of how to say it. That is a most wanted. It looks like every photo was taken by somebody just pushed up against the wall at Buc-ee's, and they snapped a photo of somebody as they walk by. I mean, these photos are awesome. Oh, and somebody already got arrested just in the short amount of time since I looked at it earlier. They took Detarius Henderson off the list. He's been arrested. All right. Juanrico Guevara, failure to register as a sex offender. Nice, Juanrico. I don't know where he's at. I've looked at him looked on Facebook, looked around, searched myself. No sign of him. Jessica Garza, tampering with a government document. Oh, this Courtney Saylor, man, she looks so happy whenever she's taking. Could you imagine when I take my mugshot? It's going to look horrible. If I ever have to take a mugshot, I'm going to look like I'm going to jail. I'm going to look like I'm either really, really scared about what's going to happen in there, or I'm just going to look serious enough. But Courtney Saylor and William Slater right beside each other. They're looking for him for stalking. They're looking for her for fraud. They look so happy to be taking a mugshot. You guys have got to see this. Go on this and take a look at it. David Savage for forgery. Where you at, David? You got to come turn yourself in. Kimberly Walker. Kim Walker for fraud. Todd Williams for assault. Richard, I can't even say your last name. No wonder they're still looking for you. I don't even know how to pronounce this. HREJSA. I don't have my readers on, right? I'm so blind. I'm so old now. Richard Herjerza for forgery. That's why they're still looking for Richard. They can't find him. If you know where anyone's at, please do not apprehend them yourself. Call 817-469-TIPS. That's 817-469-8477. This is the top 10 most wanted list as of October 1st, 2023. But like I said, the Terrius Henderson, he was on there earlier. He's not there now, unless they've come out with a new one since. I don't know. All right. Don't forget that the line is open. You can call in anytime you want, 817-637-2585. You can call in and come speak to me if you need to. If you want to discuss anything, this is the Joco Voice. This is your chance to put out anything that you would like to discuss. Now, going back, since I got enough time left, I got to go back to an earlier story and point out. And if I'm wrong, jump on. The haters, get on there and let me know. When Grandview destroyed Inspired Vision Academy, one of the things I noticed was that on Max Prep, now I try to watch the games as much as I can through the local television on the different stations that you can get high school football, but you're not going to get very many games, but you still try to catch through the internet and different things people are posting. I saw 2 punt returns for touchdowns. If anyone else saw those games, jump in and give us a comment. Let us know. I think I saw, I know I saw 2 or 3 fumbles at least, and a couple of passes. Not anything, well, they were touchdowns, but not anything that just like jumped out at you, like Jerry Rice. I'm showing my age for you kids who don't know. Jerry Rice is in the commercial about the old guys coming out of retirement. He's the guy that someone throws him a snack from the sideline, and I think it hurts his hand. Right? That's who Jerry Rice is. I didn't see anything too spectacular, but oh my God, the amount that they ran over that. Do you guys? I mean, is it kids would rather play? I wonder if it's kids would rather play football on Xbox than actually go out there and throw the ball these days. I just don't see anyone out at parks playing like we did when we were young, and you can just pick up a game anytime. Whenever I was young, it's just something to notice. We still show no coming up with the I want to go over something else on the weather. We still show no sign of rain all the way till Thursday. And then I'm pretty much sure that right after that, there's nothing coming anytime soon, even after that. And even now on Thursday on the 10-day, it's showing like, yeah, that rain chance left. Friday's a partly cloudy day. What is wrong with my phone? I don't know. Yeah, Friday's a partly cloudy day. They've got Saturday 58. Yep. So we've got good. Now it's moved all the way to 10 days from now on Wednesday. There's a 50% chance. The air quality index is good today. It's 29. I don't know what that means, which is similar to yesterday about this same time. Yeah, it's going to be really, really nice weather ahead, guys. Enjoy it while it lasts. 43 is the low tomorrow. 76 is the high. I think the highest that we get up to is 91, and that's coming up on Sunday. So it'll be a great day for football, even though it's the Cowboys bye week. Hey, if anyone knows, tell me, should I go over the score? Should I look at it? Because God knows our Rangers did very well against the Astros. Well, I say very well. It was 2-0, but nevertheless, it's still, they won. And I don't know what's going on today, but it did not look good for the Astros whenever I left the house. And I'm sure somebody's going to chime in and let me know. Oh, wow, this one was close. I don't know. The Astros have always had trouble winning against the Rangers. It doesn't matter if the Astros are first place or last place. It doesn't matter if the Rangers are first place or last place. It could be the first place Astros and the last place Rangers. And I swear to God, the Astros couldn't win against the Rangers. So the bad news is the Astros are pretty good on the road. They're doing really, really well on the road. The good news is for the Rangers is that there will be, if they win all 3, if the Astros win all 3 games at the Rangers Stadium, they still got to play 2 more at home. And as you can see, the Rangers can beat them in their own house. And that's pretty bad for Houston. So coming up on 9 minutes left on the show, let's see if we can get into some other trouble. I haven't had anyone come in here and yank me out for everything I've been talking about. Bruce Bochy. I got to talk about Bruce Bochy. All right. Bruce Bochy had left the game for 3 years. And they said he was coaching his grandson's baseball team or his grandkids' team. I don't know if there's more grandkids on there or what. 68 years old. That guy is amazing, right? You know, born in France, was coaching the French. I don't know what it is, like the Olympic team or whatever it is, their world team that the French had. And in an interview, they were talking to him about it, and he says, "Yeah, don't go look them up. They weren't doing so good." So I thought that was pretty funny. But you know, and him going against Dusty Baker is just two legends from way back when. Between the two of them, I think they got like 80 years in baseball because of their age and how long they've been playing and how long they went to managing afterwards. 80 years in baseball. So you're watching a chess game between two chess masters that's playing through, and it really makes the game worth watching. Let's look at see what else we got on the chats here, because I'm trying to weed through what I can read and what I can't, because everyone's just loving to say wonderful things these days, right? Burleson After Dark, you're killing me. Oh my God, you guys are killing me. If you're not on Burleson After Dark, you don't know what you're missing. The best stuff you're ever going to see. It's hilarious. I feel like it's like somebody took, hey, what's up, man? I feel like somebody took an Ambien and just got wild and got on Burleson After Dark and just went nuts before it was over and done with. Angelo Roca's coming in. Hopefully. What's up, man? How are you? It's a good show, man. I'm stepping on toes and stubbing things and talking about stuff I'm probably going to get shot over. You know, got to be more careful in the future because this thing isn't bulletproof. We're gonna have to armor it up for us with all the stuff we're saying when it's over and done with. Recently, my buddy put on Facebook, he thinks Jose Altuve should date Taylor Swift. You know, or at least one of the Rangers, right? Either one of the Astros or one of the Rangers. When you're ready, I'm gonna turn it on. I don't ever want to catch that flack from you getting that microphone adjusted. Yeah. I was watching the Kansas City Chiefs play the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I made a drinking game out of every time they showed Taylor Swift, I would have been drunk by the first quarter.
Yeah, I know.
The
ratings, the NFL ratings have gone down because of her.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of people aren't big Swifties, I guess is what they call them. Yeah,
right.
And they're turning off the TV.
But remember, Romo dated like Jessica Simpson?
Yeah,
I think they showed her like twice.
And every time she showed up, they lost.
Yeah, right. They showed her twice in the whole season. Every time she showed up, they lost. Like, what was she doing to him the night before?
Gosh.
Like, go sleep in a separate room, Romo. Go sleep in a separate room.
I remember there was one season where every time Jessica Simpson showed up, they would always lose, and it was always because of an interception.
Right.
So they started showing, YouTube was new around, it was around a couple of years. So they had this meme where it was, oh my God, did you hear that Tony Romo shot himself because of all the games he's been losing? And they're like, oh, no way. And then all of a sudden it says, yeah, but somebody intercepted the bullet.
He was looking at Jessica Simpson. So
I was like, oh my Lord.
I love it. Now, before all the haters jump in and start saying something, I do not think this is Taylor Swift's fault that they keep showing
absolutely
her.
not.
She's just somebody who went to watch a game.
Exactly.
It's also with the CMAs or any award show that she's on. No matter what award show you're watching, it could be something on BET that she happens to show up for. They will turn that camera to her as she's singing along to some song, no matter what. So, I mean, it sells. I guess there's probably,
there's a lot of fans out there apparently because her movie made like some $98 million this weekend.
Do you have a teenage daughter?
I have one teenage daughter. One is 18, but she's technically a teenager. 18.
Yeah. What's that? I mean, is she
they both love them as far as I know.
Really?
I think
a lady I work with was standing. So for those of you, I've already talked about it. I work at UT Southwestern, the teaching hospital, and one of the assistants was standing at the front of the room, getting ready for one of the doctors to present, and she had her phone out and was scrolling through dresses. And I was like, what are you looking for? And she says, I'm looking for a, what do you call it? She goes, I'm looking for a dress to go to the Taylor Swift concert. And now this assistant is like my age, 40 something.
Yeah.
Beautiful, young looking, still thin. And she said, and I put like Taylor Swift dress concerts, like she's an older person searching. Like, I don't know what you're going to say.
Yep.
And she was like, I wouldn't have worn these whenever I was in my heyday of my youth. She's showing these photos, and I was like, type in your age. She goes, yes, I'm looking for my age appropriate.
Apparently, she's the biggest selling artist of all time. She beat the concert over a year. A lot of media likes to gauge how much money the concerts make, and she set the record for like the most amount of money ever by any artist. And you're thinking about Michael Jackson, Elton John, U2, the Beatles, and they made, and of course that's with inflation, and she beats them all.
What's the name?
Not even close, like a landslide.
Like the Rolling Stones just retired.
Yeah,
I'm like, those guys have been around since before I was born.
They sold out every concert,
right? And she's beating them.
And she's beat them all.
Yeah. Well, I know that the only concert I took like one of the kids to was like Hillary Duff, like way back in Houston,
when she was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, for that 2 weeks or whatever that the rodeo came through, she played there, and you couldn't even hear her. There were just screaming kids around you.
Unbelievable.
And I had brought earplugs, and I think other dads were like, "Hey, will you rip those in half and give me a sliver?"
If you think about it, those concerts, it's like an air show. You have to bring earplugs.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be. Just screaming and screaming, and more screaming.
And it's not her. She's, Taylor's up there performing. She's doing her thing. It's the other 2,000 small children around you.
Yep.
You're just like, what? I can't hear anything.
Unbelievable.
Tip's telling us to leave Taylor Swift alone. We're not picking on her. We love her. We're just stating the obvious that, they turned the camera to her. She didn't do anything. She showed up for a game, right? She's up there hanging out with
the guy. I mean,
she's up there hanging out with the mom.
Yep. She's dating Kelsey, and that's it. She
your
shows
wife's
up
hanging out. Your wife's hanging out with your mom. Ain't no one turning the camera over there to look at that, right? Oh, look, there's Angelo's mom over there with the wife. What ideas is she putting in his? Like, you're just wondering. Nope, nobody would know.
Nope.
It's the whole. What's the other one? Army Hammer was writing text messages to his girlfriend or whatever, his mistress.
Yeah.
And they were like, he wrote bad stuff. And I'm like, I wonder if an ex of mine has a text that I wrote.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and how would she doctor it? Because, there's what you can go on YouTube and look at how, like, if I took your phone
people can
and put my ex-girlfriend's name on your phone number, and then I text whatever from your phone, just sitting there, just doing all this stuff. And then people will take that and take a snapshot of it. And they're like, look at what Angelo.
Right now we're at the age where everything's Photoshopped. You don't know what's real. Everything's digitized, deep fakes now.
Right.
It's hard to detect.
You're like, well, in the future, what's it going to be like? Because as graphics get, I mean, the first computer game I played when I was young, I thought were amazing graphics on a 486 processor. And now you've got guys flying like the X-Wing with the little thing on, and they're looking all around and they're flipping switches in it, and you see it on YouTube, and you're like, dude, I would get so seasick. I would get so simulator sick off that.
There's one with an atomic blast. They put they wear the headphones, and I guess the sound effects along with the video. It looks real, like you're on an island, and then you see a nuclear blast. And that's it. And the sensation is incredible, apparently.
I see the ones where people put the thing on like their grandpa or something, and he's fighting the ghost and everything.
Then punches one of the grandkids.
Yeah, right, in the nose. They got to go to the hospital. They're like the big investigation. They're like, no, look, you want to see it? It's on YouTube. Gramps, you're trending, and he's like, yeah, that's not funny. I can't. I always think they're fake.
Yeah.
But I also think there might be one that's real. And there's some grandfather somewhere going, you keep those damn grandkids away from me. I never want to see those kids again. I'm on 6 heart medications now because of my kids, when it's over and done with. All right. We're going to close up here. Stick around for Vets for Vets. Is it Vets for Vets now?
Not yet. Me and Tiffany are working on maybe reorganizing and modifying the Vet for Vets program where it's more entailed for the programming.
Okay.
The actual programs out there for it.
Joko, take care of yourself. This is Mike Wilshire with the Joko Voice. Stick around for Angelo Rocca.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County.